Hey there toy collector friends and Transformers fans alike, welcome back to the channel. I'm the time travelling toy collector and this is the Transformers Legacy Evo-Fusion Junkion Crashbar. Crashbar is a new addition to the lineup of Legacy, so not one of the older figures and not a rehash of a previously released G1 or G2 figure as far as I'm aware anyway. He is in fact not also, which I do find particularly interesting, an issue as part of the Studio Series 86, which is where we would predominantly perhaps expect to see Junkions given their predominant appearance in the 1986 animated picture. So unusual to have Junkions in the Legacy line, but a welcome addition because they lend themselves very well to the sort of weaponizer Evo-Fusion concept, where basically you can pull them apart, reattach them and give them to other bits, and attach them to other figures, and or attach them to different configurations of their counterparts. Because we've actually had a couple of deluxe class Junkions. This is Crashbar. He's the most recent, and I've also recently managed to get hold of Scraphook. So we'll be taking a look at Scraphook in a separate video. But yeah, already I can say, and I'll just give him a little spin around on his little block here, but already I think we're seeing that this is a really lovely figure, really great. So whether you're looking to do army building or whatever, there is some hollowness around the back, but you know what, not much, and it's mainly around the back of the head, which you'll see more clearly when I pick it up. But yeah, the back of the legs are quite filled out and not in a way that's overly problematic. In fact, it's a really clean profile. You can see there just how clean the profile is. And we've got these blasters on his shoulders. That's optional. Well, the majority of things with these toys are optional. You do exactly what you like. And there's some real lovely asymmetry to it. A lot of the robots we obviously encounter are very symmetrical, as I smash the place up, are very symmetrical, but that's not the case, not always the case, but it's particularly not the case here when we're looking at the Junkions, because even you can see from the legs, very different layout. The shoulders here, very different layout. And I think he's got one of the cutest Junkion faces that I think we've seen. Let's get him in hand. He's a very lightweight figure, but there's an awful lot going on, I think. Let me just zoom in a little bit more so you can really take a look. So let's get a look at that head sculpt, and I think that those red eyes on that visor is really great. He's got a cheeky sort of smile, cheeky sort of look on his face. I think I posted a photo and someone said it looked like he was sticking his tongue out, and I can kind of see what they mean with that little sort of, I think it's a kind of a goatee that's there on himself there. Yeah, there's some hollowness on those pipes at the back there, but you know, it's forgivable. But I think the chest detailing is lovely. I think the headlamps and the Autobot symbol up front and center, I think that all of the detailing around the body there is really good. And he's, you know, he's not very substantial, but you do get a sense that he's a tough little fighter. That is something that I think very much comes across on this figure. He is a tough little fighter. So I mean, I'm not going to take you through all the articulation because there'll be other reviewers who can do that. But yeah, you get all the articulation you would expect: shoulders, elbows, ball joint for the head, hips, thighs, knees, and bumser daisy. I'm more here to sort of really appreciate that you know, the detailing here that we've got. I mean, yeah, we can see he's got some of that familiar Junkion detailing there. That's probably going to suggest he turns into a bike. Those two wheels are also a clue around that. But I just think it's such a lovely figure, because if you didn't know it was a Transformer, you just think this is a robot. But again, let's take him around, because you'll see that there's not a huge amount of space wasted on this figure. Again, yeah, a bit of a hollow head, but the rest of it is pretty much covered in. You've got those wheels on the back, and actually one of the wheels has an additional feature that we'll look at in a second. But yeah, I really like this figure, and I think he's really pretty poseable. We can also take off, because we can take anything off and use it however we want. That we can attach these sort of arm cannons. We can attach them to the side of his arm if we want to do it that way. Sorry, I dropped out a shot there. If you want to do it that way, you can attach it there. There are mech ports all over the place. You can similarly attach him straight into his hand, so he can hold it as a cannon or as a gun there. There's numerous ways you can set this up. I think the shoulder mounted is, generally speaking, my preference. So let's just get that back in there. Oh, it's because I'm doing it the wrong way around. There you go, no wonder. But you know, it's a very nice figure. There's lots of tightness to the and in a positive way, tightness to the various joints. He isn't one of those that, especially as a weaponizer, where you can pull him apart. He doesn't. You don't feel like you can pull him apart. You know, it doesn't feel like he's ready to fall apart at the first handling. He does feel significantly well positioned in terms of being a freestanding warrior robot. Really, I suppose is what we would classify him as. I did mention it. We have this. I think it's this one. I'm always mindful of how you take something like this off, but this wheel does actually separate off, and if you get it just right, I'm going to try and do it now and fail dismally, but you can, maybe I'm doing it the wrong way around. There you go, I was. You can, if you can see this, you possibly can't, it's very difficult to try and gauge it, but this wheel actually opens up into a like a spiked wheel weapon, like a throwing star type of weapon, but I won't faff around with it now. I'll get that off and use it when we do the photos later, and put that in action in a photo at the end of the video. So here we have Crashbar in his robot mode, and as I said, I think this is really and truly a fantastic figure. I really like it. I'm really glad I've added it to the collection. But of course, he doesn't just come in robot mode, he also comes with a bike mode. So without further ado, let's take a look at that. And here we have him. Here we have Crashbar transformed up into his motorcycle mode. And to be honest, it's a really fun, really straightforward transformation. Really nice, very rewarding. Everything clips into place exactly as you would hope that it would do. Everything moves really smoothly. There's no bumps in it. There's no real issues with it. I found it extremely easy, so much so I almost would have done it on camera, because I didn't have to swear or panic about whether or not something was going to fit into place, as is often the case. And I think this is beautiful. It has all of the carry forward detailing that we're accustomed to with Junkions. The accessories all store on board without any issues whatsoever. There's a lovely touch here where you can actually angle the front section there with the handlebars. It doesn't connect with the wheel though, so the wheel stays stationary no matter which direction you're facing. But it's a nice touch nevertheless. So let's just move along there. The detailing, you've got the flame detailing on the front there, where there's a gas or petrol pump port, for want of a better phrase. Some lovely detailing around the engine area, those exhaust pipes. The seat there is lovely. You've got the sort of saddlebag guns on the side there. The wheels are it's movable, so you get to play however you would wish with this. It's all in all, I mean, it's a small compact figure, but it delivers two very distinct and very fun modes. The robot mode is sturdy and characterful excuse me, and I think the bike mode is characterful as well, and again it's great fun. And because it's this scale, you probably couldn't put Wreck-Gar or similar class on here, but again, we can incorporate him with the likes of Scrap Hook, and we know we've got other Junkions coming into this range. I think it's Axle Grease, which is going to be a Decepticon Junkion, which will be an interesting addition to the mix. So we've got that to look forward to later in the line as well. But you know, I think it's just a lovely figure, and it's a wonderful collection. Especially if you're going to be as I mentioned before, an army builder, and you want to really create a set of Junkions. Being deluxe class, these aren't super expensive. so they're quite, you know, they're possibly one of the easier ranges to augment if that was your approach to figure collecting. It's not mine, to be fair. I tend to just have one of each, unless it's something I really want to collect, in which case I may get two, one for best and one to knock about with. But in this case, so far, just the one. Thank you very much. I'm conscious I've not shown you the box, so we'll do that very, very quickly. Again, it's a standard packaging, open front to save on plastic, so it's easy access. Crashbar, there he is in bike mode on the front, Transformers Legacy Evolution, Deluxe Class, and Transformers on the side. Some very nice, as you'd expect, crossbar artwork on the side there. The very awkward side that makes it really hard to stack or store these figures. Not that I'm in their boxes, not that I'm moaning, heaven forbid. But again, I really love the artwork. I think there's so much attention and love and detail go in from Hasbro and Takara Tomy into the box designs and the artwork. This side, for example, although we've got this plastic-free notification, we've got some of the indications there of the Evo-Fusion elements of Crashbar, along with other Junkions being merged together. We can see the Dinobots there, particularly pleased to see Swoop. Looking forward to getting Swoop into the collection. And then this massive face, Decepticon face here, which could be Tarn, or perhaps the Nemesis itself, making it into Titan mode in the future. The back, of course, is the obligatory product shots, showing the figure in various states of decomposition, as you can use it, as mentioned, as a weaponizer to upscale other characters. There's the robot mode, there's the vehicle mode rather, and there is some sort of combination with scrapbook. Many options available with these figures. So I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very, very much for spending the last 15 or so minutes with me. I will put together some photos for the back end of the video on the playout, as I always try to do, so you can see some posing of the figure in both modes, and I'll get that that wheel off and use it so you can see what it looks like as a weapon for the pictures as well. So stick around for those. Hopefully you've been able to decide whether or not you think that Crashbar warrants a slot on your shelf, and if that's the case, then please do hit the like button. Equally, if you've decided, oh, actually it's a bit of a hard pass for me, then again, hit the like button, because I've achieved what I set out to do, which was give you the ability to make an informed choice. Yeah, fantastic. Thanks for being a fantastic audience member. I've been the Time Travelling Toy Collector. This has been Transformers Legacy Evolution Junkion Crashbar from Takara Tomy and Hasbro. And all that is left for me to say is to remember that a thing of beauty is a toy forever. And I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Take care and bye-bye for now.